Welcome to Positive Atheism English channel and to the program Positive Atheism, which is written by Sri Gora, an atheist, freedom fighter, and a man who started the first atheist center in the world. Now I am going to continue from where I had left in the last episode. Mastership manifests man's sense of freedom, while surrender represents his slave mind. Like love and hate, the opposite feelings of slavishness and sense of freedom are opposite feelings of slavishness and sense of freedom are inherent in the ambivalence of human nature. The theistic attitude of surrender is a manifestation of the slave mind. The atheistic attitude of mastership is the manifestation of the feeling of freedom. Since real living needs assertion, all practice of life is always atheistic. Theism is only a theory, the attitude which is dominated by the slave mind. Theists think that they are not free and their lives are ordained by God or determined by circumstances. But in practice, they necessarily choose and act with the sense of freedom. Religions pray, "Oh God, thy will be done." In practice, they go their own way. Materialists ever that the social being determines the conscience of man, but in practice, they go to control the social being through their dictatorship. To that extent, all theists are atheistic in practice. The inconsistency between theory and practice makes theists inevitably dishonest. The more active they are, the more dishonest they appear with reference to their profession of surrender. Since comforts increase with planning, initiative, and active satisfaction of wants, dishonest thieves live comfortably. But to call a spade is easy. So the mass of thieves honestly believe in surrender, cripple initiative, achieve little, and fall into want. They drift in the stream of circumstances rather than turn the tide in their favor. Thus, wide inequalities range in the theistic milieu, the dishonest sailing at the top, wealthy and powerful, and the honest sinking to the bottom in destitution. The inequalities correspond to the degree of self-assertion on the one hand and to the extent of surrender on the other. Primitive people were not dishonest when they prohibited evil spirits to escape the fury of elements and the ravages of disease. Outside the superstitious ritual of mumbo jumbo and hocus pocus, they were natively free to hunt, to revel, and to bawl. The equality of freedom, however small, kept them equal. Expect the authority to safeguard the taboos of the totem, the chief of a clan could not command more comfort than his kith and kin. It was the sophisticated thinking of the rational theists and entangled them in the influences of their own logic. By regarding God as the Almighty or by considering the process of evolution as deterministic, modern theists denied freedom totally to themselves. This was an absurd stance in real life. Hence, dishonesty increased in civilized theism and increased inequalities as well. Theism enabled civilized inequality to replace primitive equality. In the name of God, fate, and custom, priests and princes oppressed honest folk. The glories of theistic civilization were the products of slave labor. Pyramids of Egypt, the Great Wall of China, temples of India, and the Kremlin of Russia were raised by the intellectual classes with forced labor. Roman imperialism and Mughal monarchy were nourished by the blood and sweat of slaves. Brahminical intellect shone bright in contrast with the forced ignorance of Sudra populations. Man's pride thrived on women's motherhood. White skin claimed preference to the black. Wealth grew on the surplus value of sweated labor. The security which resulted from settled life and the development of technological aids should have helped all people to grow equally rational and free, and therefore to live equally well. But dishonest priests and princes who were tempted by greed of pomp and power took advantage of their position and tried to foster honest theistic faith in common people. Honest theistic faith carried with it the attitude of surrender and made common people liable to easy exploitation by swindlers. In order to tighten the grip of exploitation, everyone who was benefited by it, conspired against the common people. The story of this conspiracy was the darkest chapter in the history of civilization. And from here, I shall continue in the next episode again. Thank you.
For more videos, please subscribe to our Positive Atheism English channel presented by Samaram channels, which has crossed more than 20 crore views. Please like, subscribe and share our videos, and for notification of our new videos, please click the bell icon.